All right. So come into a comfortable seat. Sitting on your mats, either cross-legged or however is most comfortable for you. Allowing a moment just to settle into the body, allowing the hands to rest at the knees and closing down the eyes. And as we do at the beginning of our practice, let's just anchor our breath. So thinking about the lower belly down into the pelvis. As you breathe in, feel the weight of the sit bones, the weight of the outer edges of the feet. And feel the smoothness of the breath. See if you can lengthen it ever so slightly, inhaling deeply for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhaling out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhaling out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the breath low in the belly. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to your natural breath, just taking a moment to check in with your senses in your space, reminding ourselves that even though we are separate and we're distant, there is still this element of connection and shared space together. So taking a moment, maybe just to set an intention for our practice, maybe just to focus on your breath, maybe just to back off slightly when things feel a little bit too much, or maybe it's to challenge yourself slightly more this afternoon. This practice is for you and it's guided by me, but you're responsible for allowing it to be the most for you. So flickering your eyes slowly open, inviting the sight back into your practice, popping your left hand down towards the floor next to you as the right arm lifts all the way up towards the sky. And then exhaling, hinging over towards the side. You can drop your elbow maybe slightly further down. Maybe a slight twist towards the right hand side. Maybe a roll out of your wrist here, just getting a nice stretch into the side body. And then pushing back up as you take your right hand now back behind you, the left hand comes onto the knee as you twist yourself around. Maybe drop the ears down towards the shoulders here, just getting into the neck slightly more. And then back towards the middle, you're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees open out nice and wide, and then fold yourself down, relaxing your head down towards the floor or down towards the feet. You can stay still or taking the legs for a little bit of a butterfly. And then gently walking yourself back up, switch the crisscross of your legs so it feels slightly different. Take the right hand to the floor, left arm rises up, breathing in. And then exhaling, lateral stretch over towards the right hand side. And don't just reach with your fingers, I want you to feel the length through the side waist, up the ribs, up through your armpit. Relax the head, maybe roll out through your wrist. And then as you push yourself back up, we're going to twist, taking the hand back behind you, right hand onto the knee. Focusing on getting the collarbones back, the lower ribs drawing back. And then back towards the center. Last time you're going to bring the soles of the feet together into a butterfly. This time the hands are going to come back behind you. Now push into the palms, squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze your elbows together, and elevate your chest up towards the sky. Maybe close your eyes here, breathing in deeply in through the nose. Inflate your belly first, then open your mouth, stick your tongue out, let it go. Do that again, breathing in. Inflate the belly, open your mouth, stick your tongue all the way out towards your chin, letting all the breath out. Releasing, bringing yourself back, swinging the legs back behind you, coming onto all fours. And push gently into the palms, lifting up into our first downward facing dog as you paddle out through the heels. And then lifting the gaze up towards the hands, you're going to walk or step the feet forwards towards the fingers. You're going to push down through the feet, long breath in, arms rise up towards the sky. Ooh, I just got caught by the roses. Forward bend, let it all go back down through the midline, hands come to the floor, stepping the right foot back. Stepping the left foot back, plank. Lower the knees down for our first one, elbows bend back, now pull your chest forwards and lower yourself down onto your belly. Push your pubic bone down, rise up, lower ribs stay to the floor, cobra. Float the hands maybe off the floor so you're using your lower back muscles and not just pushing into your hands. Out breath, lower yourself back down. Keep these elbows hugged in towards the midline, roll your pubic bone in, and then push back up using your arms. Child's pose. Straighten your legs, trying to keep your shoulders where they are, downward facing dog. Breathing in, belly inflates first. Breathing out, soften the face. Lift the gaze up, walking or stepping the feet forwards towards the fingers. Little bend in those knees, shake out the tail, let it all go. Once again, push down through the feet, energetically rise towards the sky as the arms lift up towards the ceiling. And swim down, forward bend, release the hands to the floor. Palms come to the mat, step the left foot back. Push into the hands, the right foot back. Once again, the knees are going to lower. Slower than you want to, lower yourself down to your belly. Fight against gravity. Push the pubic bone down, inhale, rise. Lower ribs stay to the floor. Once again, float the fingers off the mat. Elbows hug back, squeeze the shoulder blades. Lower yourself back down on the exhalation. Curl your tailbone under, elbows stay hugged in. Reverse your movement, press back up. As your bum draws back towards your heels, now stay there as you push into your hands and then straighten your legs, lift your knees to come into a downward facing dog. So those of you who've been coming to this practice with me for quite a while, I want you to really start to focus on this power through the arms with this transition from child's pose to down dog. So we'll do this one more time just to get ourselves nice and happy. If you'd like to add on slightly, you can do a chaturanga as well down towards the floor, but I want you to slow it down. So as you draw the lower ribs back, your inner thighs are lifting. Come up onto the toes, roll forwards and find your stability in your plank. Once again, the knees can lower or one straight line down towards your belly. Push pubic bone down, rise up, baby cobra. And then as you lower yourself back down, exhale, roll your pubic bone back towards your navel. Keep these elbows hugged and push slowly back, child's pose. Don't move anything else. Push into the palms and lift your knees, downward facing dog. Beautiful, taking a breath here. Start to feel the warmth build through the arms. Noticing our reaction to the challenges. Lifting the gaze up, walking, stepping, or taking a hop if you're feeling enthusiastic to the top of your mat. Now bend the knees so much so that you can take your palms and slide them now underneath your feet. Taking a little wiggle here of your toes. Just be mindful if you're wearing jewellery here, just standing on my rings, it's not particularly comfortable. And then shifting the weight forwards and backwards, side to side, wiggling out through the toes just to massage through the wrists. So you can keep the knees as bent as you like here. If you can't reach, then bend the knees, belly to thighs. If you're happy here, you're thinking about lifting the sit bones to the sky, stretching out the backs of the legs slightly more. The weight is shifted forwards into the balls of the feet, squashing the hands. Relax the head. Is your jaw relaxed? Breathing in, feel the belly expanding against your thighs. And releasing out, letting it all go. Slide the hands out from underneath your feet. We're going to step the right foot back. Back knee lowers. Rise yourself up, low lunge. Taking hold of opposite elbows and sinking down into that front knee. And then we're going to hinge over towards the left-hand side, dropping your left hand down in the direction of the floor, and then reach the top arm up and over towards the top left-hand corner of the room. So you might be able to touch the ground, you might not be able to, it doesn't matter. And then go the opposite way, so cartwheel the arms up, and then dropping the right hand down. Maybe it hits the floor slightly easier this time to the ground. And then twist your heart towards the sky. You feel this crunch through your lower back. I want you to back off. Think about bringing the lower ribs back in, the lower belly in, keeping yourself active. And then lowering both hands down towards the mat, coming onto the long end of your mat. You're going to tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, just be mindful of that rotation as you come into a wide-legged forward bend to the side. Taking a moment here just to straighten and bend into both knees. And then we're going to heel toe the feet as close together as you need to so that you can take the outer edges of your feet with your hands. And then squash down the outer edges of the feet so you're squashing your fingers. So once again, bend the knees, that's absolutely fine. You're relaxing your head so that the crown of the head is to the floor. And then you're thinking about shifting the weight back forwards as your tailbone lifts towards the sky. Once again, it looks exactly the same with the knees bent. You're just keeping that nice opening through the hips. And then slowly release your fingers from underneath your feet. Maybe give them a little bit of a wiggle, placing the hands directly underneath your face. Left hand comes underneath you as your right hand comes onto your lower back. Now push out of all three limbs, both feet and your hand, as you then twist towards the right hand side. Slow your breath, staying here or lifting that top arm to the sky, maybe lifting the gaze up towards the fingers. Keep the thighs lifted. And then lowering the hands back down towards the floor. Walk them over towards the right hand side of the mat. Bend into that right knee into a half squat. As you do this, your heel can lift, turn your top toes towards the sky. If you're happy here, then walk the fingers slightly further forwards. Draw your bum back as your heel might descend slightly closer down towards the floor. You're going to get a big stretch through the inside edge of this left leg. And coming back to our breath, reminding ourselves that this poses that we're doing with our body is just the surface level of our experience. What is the quality of your breath doing? And then shift yourself back forwards, walk yourself back towards the center of the mat. So you're going to push down through that grounded leg, twizzle to face the front of the mat, three-legged as the left foot rises to the sky. Staying here if you'd like to, or bend the knee, open up through your hip, twisting towards the left-hand side, and then drop your left armpit back down towards the ground. And then slowly popping that foot back down towards the floor, coming forwards into a plank. Knees down or chaturanga halfway. The in-breath rolls you onto the tops of the toes. Heart opens, push into the palms. Tuck the chin, pike at the hips, push back. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here just to settle. Shake the head. And then lifting the gaze up, walking, stepping or hopping at the feet to the fingers. And grounding down through the feet, rising up, take up space as the arms lift. And then swinging the arms this time back behind you as you interlace the fingers. Knuckles draw down, chest open, keep the lower ribs in as you hover the hands as high away from your bum as you can. And then bend the knees, kind of like you're coming into a chair pose. Lift your arms a little bit higher as your belly sits onto your thighs. Relax your head so you're looking at your knees. Lift your arms an inch higher as you then begin to straighten your legs and fold forwards. Now this is way too much, you're just finding opposite elbows, keeping the shoulder blades drawn back. If that's way too much still, just bringing the hands onto the lower back or onto the hips. Are you breathing? Are you more aware of your breath or more aware of how your body is feeling? See if you can interweave the sensations and the experience. And then be mindful of being spring-loaded. Unravel the fingers, bending the elbows, lower the hands to the floor. We're going to step our left foot long down the mat. Pad the mat if you need to, if you're on a hard floor. And then push down to rise up, arms grow tall. Relax the shoulders down, finding opposite elbows. You're thinking about trying to get your biceps and triceps back to get a bit more of a stretch through the shoulders. And then maybe sinking a little bit deeper into this front knee if it's accessible. Creating space. And then release the right arm. Drop it down towards the floor. Once again, it might hit, it might not, it doesn't matter. Getting a bit more of a stretch through the front left psoas, side body as well. And then cartwheel the arms back up, opposite side. Maybe the left hand hits the floor this time. Twisting open. Try not to just dump down into that left wrist. Keeping it active through the legs and through the core. And then hands lower the gaze, drop right hand to join the left. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and then twizzle yourself to face the long end of your mat. Now options, take hold of your big toes with your first and second fingers, bending into the elbows, sit bones draw high, or walk your hands through in between your feet towards the opposite long end of your mat and relax your head. But you're focusing on shifting the weight forwards into the balls of the feet, lifting your inner thighs, lifting the top thighs. Are you breathing? And then be mindful of you release. Going to take that twist, so popping the right hand directly underneath your face, left hand comes onto the lower back. Energetically ground down to push down and then twist yourself around to the left hand side. You can stay there, or that top arm can lift up towards the sky, creating almost like a little compass shape. And then fingers drop back down, walking yourself over towards the left hand side, bending into the left knee. Straighten out through the front leg, coming into our half squat. This might be where you stay, or if it's accessible, walk the fingers forwards. Start to ease your bum back. Maybe the heel lowers a little bit closer towards the floor. And then hands come back into the center. Push down, bring yourself back into the middle. Face the front of the mat as you twizzle onto the toes, three-legged dog, foot flies to the sky. Bending into that knee, open up your hip. Taking any extra little movements if it feels good. And then popping the foot back down towards the ground. Coming forwards, plank. You're going to kind of find a side plank from here, so your heels are going to twizzle towards the right. Left arm grows tall. If you're happy here, stack the feet on top of one another. Think about lifting the right hip up. A little bit more still, you're going to lift the top foot just a couple of inches, 2 inches away from the bottom. Find your breath. Notice the quality of breathing. Lower the gaze, both hands come back down to the floor, straight away, opposite side. Once again, taking the options, the feet can stack next to one another, they can stack on top of one another, or a little bit more of a challenge, those of you who are super happy, lifting up that top foot 2 to 3 inches away from the bottom. And then hands and feet come back down towards the floor, all the way down to your belly, let it all go. Relax your chin, your cheek or your forehead to the ground. Taking a little sway, sit your arms back behind you. And see if you can notice your breath, notice your heartbeat against the ground. It's an opportunity just to dampen things down, simplify our experience, with the wonders of just being able to lie and be still. Noticing at what point the mind wants to jump in, telling you that you should be doing something else. So just wallow in the experience here of the thighs relaxing down. The palms are facing upwards towards the sky in this open and readiness to receive. And feel the obviousness of your breathing with the belly gently pushing down against the floor. And the deflation as your body melts towards the ground. And then gently lifting the gaze back to the front of the mat. You're going to bring yourself up onto your elbows from here. And we're going to bend into our left knee. Draw your heel towards your bum. Now we're going to do this, we're going to do 2 sections of this pose. So stay with the cues quite, I don't really know what I'm trying to say. Just stay with the cues. So first of all, your heel is going to draw in towards your bum. So taking the foot as close towards your bum as you can, and then you're going to push your pubic bone down. And as you do that, you're going to get so much more of a stretch through the left quadricep. Try not to just dump into this right arm as well. Naturally, I was kind of dropping down. So see if you can keep nice and active. If this dumps into the lower back too much, then I want you to curl the tailbone under and get more of a stretch through the front of the hips rather than the back. And then from here, we're going to go the opposite way. So now your foot is going to draw back. And as you do that, you're going to feel your left shoulder draw back as well. Keep nice and proud. Once again, if this feels too much for the lower back, curl the tailbone under more. Squeeze your bum and you're magnetizing your inner thighs together. Breathing in. And then gently release, lowering yourself back down to the ground. Opposite cheek to the mat. Take a moment here. Little shuffle, little sways. And just noticing the difference between that nice big chest opener and front body opener versus this kind of closing down. And then you're going to bring yourself back onto your elbows. And do the same thing on the other side. So bending into the right knee. Take the hand back behind to find your foot. First round, you're going to push up gently out of this left forearm, draw the heel in towards your bum. If you can't reach and your foot is miles away, and you may be doing this later on, feel free to pause it and find like a strap or a dressing gown strap or something just so that you can hold on, and then it can kind of create that little bit more resistance. Push the pubic bone down and then push up out of the left forearm. And then we're going to go the other way. So foot draws away from you as your right shoulder draws back, opening up through the inside of the bicep, the front pec. Keep the left shoulder drawn back as well. And feel this nice big opening of the heart space. And gently, gently, releasing back down. Bringing the hands back next to the chest. I'm going to push back, child's pose. Tucking your toes under, downward facing dog. And then walking your hands and your feet together to come into the center of your mat. Twizzle yourself 90 degrees to face the side. And then we're going to bend our knees to come into a chair pose as you sink the weight into your heels. Arms lift up. Now, keep the arms high, that's fine. Or they can come onto the hips, or if you'd like to, you can kind of take them out nice and wide. Now, keep the bend in these knees as you slowly start to heel toe the feet into a goddess pose. So this might take a little bit of kind of shuffling just to get yourself happy. And as you've moved into your goddess, noticing how the toes are opening out, so you're getting the opening through your knees as well. Keep the bend into your knees, heel toe the feet back together. And you're magnetizing the thighs back inwards. Whew. Keep the chest proud, sit yourself just an inch lower. Don't move the knees, heel toe outwards. As far as you dare, sinking down. Maybe a little bit of kind of buoyancy here into the legs. Stay with it. Last one, you're going to heel toe those feet inwards. So at this point, they're really going to start to feel it. So heighten the breath. Ooh. Back towards the middle, and then we're going to push down, stand yourself up, arms rise up towards the sky, and then bringing the hands back to the center of the chest, finding your hands either onto your heart, or one hand onto your heart, one onto your belly. Close your eyes, and find your breath. Notice this intense sensation that's going on beneath your hand right now. as the body reacts and responds to what we've just done. So be able to work with these sensations. Remind yourself, say to yourself, I'm safe, it's safe to be here, it's safe to breathe, it's safe to feel these sensations. So that when we have this communication with not only our bodies, but with ourselves, we start to have a little bit more faith in how we respond. So we're going to move through this again, and I really want you to catch yourself and notice how you're talking to yourself. So before we do this, just think of some I am statements. So maybe it is I am strong, I am capable, I am whatever it is that really resonates with you. Release your hands, check. Now if you feel really silly doing this, you're in your own space. So I can't hear you, you can't hear anybody else unless you shout it and your neighbours hear you, or my neighbours hear me. So really start to say to yourself, I am strong, I am capable. And saying these I am statements that really resonate with you. Keep your arms high once again, or take the arms wide, heel toe the feet wide. Start to notice the point where things start to have a little area of resistance. Keep the chest open, and then sit yourself down. Settle. Kind of earth into the real warmth and feeling and sensation through the legs. Smile. And then heel toe the feet back inwards. Keep your hips where they are. Oh, breathe. I need to breathe myself. And back towards the center. I'm going to do this one more time. Widen the feet. Breathing in and out of your nose. Sitting yourself down. Maybe opening the arms, opening up your heart. And then closing back in, last one. Feeling the warmth of the legs that are going to walk you through the rest of the day. Stay with it. Try not to use your arms. Whew. Push down, stand up, rise tall. And exhale, bring the hands back to the center of the chest. One hand onto your heart, one onto your belly. Find your breath, find your heartbeat. Let's ground our breath, inhaling. Open your mouth, exhaling. Breathe in and out. Feel your heartbeat. Inhale and exhale. Last one, your hand should be expanding as your breath draws down. Exhale, let it go. Nice. Release your hands. Twizzle yourself 90 degrees to face the top of your mat. And then we're going to bend our knees and lower ourselves down onto the floor. Any way that you'd like to do this, like a little bit of extra challenge, don't use your hands. Lowering your bum down into your little squat, and then lower down to the floor. We're going to lie ourselves down onto our backs from here. Getting yourself nice and happy. Taking the hands onto the backs of the heels, so bending into the knees. And then push down through the feet, rising up into a bridge pose. And then from here, you're going to curl your tail under, pubic bone to the belly, and relax your face. And now picking up your right foot, and you're going to pop your right foot just above your left knee into a figure four. Now flex through your right foot, and then lowering your bum slowly back down. Draw the left knee in. I'm getting a lovely stretch through the outer edge of that right glute, right hip. You can find an interlace here if it feels good. You're gently pushing your lower back down towards the ground. And then slowly release. You're going to kick that right leg up towards the sky. Extend the left leg along down the mat. Now interlace your fingers around your right leg. And we're going to lift our head, neck and shoulders now up away from the floor. As if we want to take our face to our leg. But rather than trying to get your foot or your leg to your leg to your face, you're going to take your leg away from you towards the front of the mat. So the leg pulls away as you take your head, neck and shoulders with you. Now push your lower back down, and then you're charging your left thigh down towards the mat. Pull, 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 pull away from you. So you're really, really stretching here. Last breath in, and then exhale to slowly release. Bending into both knees, soles of the feet hit the floor. Take the knees a little bit wider than before and knock the knees inwards. Hands onto your chest and your belly, reclose your eyes. 3 breaths. How long can you make your inhalation? How much time can you take up with just 3 simple breaths? Once you found your third, heel toe your feet slightly closer together. Tickle the backs of your heels and then push down to lift up into your bridge. Steady into your feet as you pick up your left foot, pop the ankle above the right knee. Keeping the shin parallel with the short end of your mat, and then lowering your bum slowly back down. Drawing that right knee towards the chest, taking a moment here. You can just stay here if you'd like to, moving that left knee away, easing into the hip a little bit more. If you'd like a bit more of glute, you're going to draw the knee towards you. Once again, just noticing the reactions as you move, as things intensify, as things back off. It's all just an observation. Can you breathe down into the lower back, almost in preparation for where we're moving to next? And then release your interlace, extending the top leg high. Slide the bottom leg away from you and push the thigh down towards the floor. Take the hands underneath the back of the thigh. If the flexibility is there, slide the hands up to the calf. And then we're going to lift our head, neck and shoulders up away from the ground. Once again, try not to just pull your foot towards your face. You're trying to pull your foot or leg away from you so that you then lift up slightly higher. Right thigh stays pressed down, right foot stays drawn back, and push your lower back down towards the floor. Reach just a little bit higher for the last inhale, and then exhaling, releasing back down. Knees bend, feet to the floor, knees knock inwards, and then cactus, your arms out nice and wide. Reclose the eyes if you haven't done already, and feeling the backs of the arms hit the ground. The shoulders, the pelvis, and the soles of the feet. And then heel toeing the feet slightly closer together. From here, you're going to lift your legs up towards the ceiling. The option just to stay here, with a legs up the wall position. You're getting the similar benefits. Or if you would like to, you're going to come into a shoulder stand. So you're going to come into a plow pose first, with the feet coming up and over your head. So you can shuffle your hands underneath your lower back. Don't look left and right once you've come up, as you use maybe a little bit of momentum. And then shuffle the shoulders underneath so that the elbows are as tight as possible. And then maybe just bending one knee, coming in towards your chest, lifting it up towards the sky. Or maybe if you're happy to, bringing both legs up. Squeeze the inner thighs together, point the toes up towards the ceiling. And see if you can bring your feet back so that you almost can't see your feet and just see your thighs and your knees. And then we're going to come back the same way we came in. So taking the feet back behind you, tippy toes hit the floor. If your feet don't touch the floor, then keep the hands onto the lower back. If your feet are hitting the ground, feel free to release your arms, maybe interlace the fingers, and press the pinky down towards the floor. And then slowly release your arms. Roll yourself slowly back down onto your back. Extending your legs away from you to the bottom corners, relax your arms and close your eyes. Taking a moment here just to be still. And then rebending into the knees, soles of the feet hit the ground. Twisting for our last pose, so moving the knees over towards one side. Popping a hand onto the knee if it feels a little nicer. And then moving into our twist on the opposite side. Allow the knees to move. Popping the hand onto the thigh. And then slowly unravel back towards the middle. And for our last pose, extending the toes to the bottom corners of the mat. Relax the arms back down next to the hips, closing the eyes. If this is too much for the lower back, coming back into the bent knee position. Finding heaviness as all limbs individually relax, release. And the back of the skull to be heavy. The tongue heavy in the throat. We give ourselves permission now to just be still. And then I will leave you here for your relaxation, taking as long as you like. So it is a pleasure as always to guide you through this practice. Thank you so much. Namaste.